Hi all. So this is the bolt for the Remington 597, and this is the Remington Man Dave bolt handle that I make. I also have one of them engrooved or in knurled. Full focus, there we go. So these are out of the rifle obviously, but usually you don't have to take them out of the rifle. Usually they snap in through the ejection port, so the rifle itself normally has just a slot about like that, and you can snap them in without taking the bolt out of the rifle. But today I wanted to demonstrate how I make them to fit the black bolts. And the nickel chrome bolts on the early models, the first I think about 3 years of manufacture, they came with this nickel chrome plating. And it makes it so that the bolt handle does not fit. And that's because the nickel chrome plating builds up a very, very thin layer. And so I'm going to demonstrate how to fit it if you have one of the early models, or sometimes I've seen a few of the black ones that needed hand fitting, but it's much more common to need fitting on the nickel chrome bolt. So let me demonstrate. This might be a little difficult with only one hand, but we'll see what I can do. So there you have it. This is just as purchased from me, and it'll slide in. You have to get it over the top of the little tongue. Snap, you're done. That's it. And it has much less wobble. Tiny bit of play left, but much less than the original. The original is very loose and sloppy. But if we take this same one and try to fit it, that one's a little bit stuck. There we go. Take that same one, the knurled one that I just had, and the knurled ones, for the first few days, first few times of use, they will kind of shed a little bit. I don't do anything special to clean them. But anyway, so if you try to take it from the black one, which it fit in just fine, on this particular one that I have, pop it out of there and try to fit it to the nickel chrome plated one. And it might start, but it gets stuck very quickly. It gets stuck and sticks out quite a bit. So let me demonstrate. Okay, so I'm just going to use my hands, my camera, in the vise, and so here's the bolt handle that doesn't quite fit in the nickel chrome plated bolt. It'll start, but gets stuck very, very quickly, you can see there. So, I'm going to take it, and I have just a hand file that's actually quite well worn. It has quite a bit of stuff stuck in it, but that's okay. Even like sandpaper or an emery board would work for this. And I'm going to start with just the corners where it snaps in first. And just knock those corners down a little more. They're rounded from the machining process, but we'll just knock them down a little more, just the corners at first. Do all four corners. We'll make them a little bit more of a chamfer. Okay, so you can see if it'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus on that. I've just knocked those corners down a little bit more than they were before. So here's one that is unmodified, and it has just a tiny radius on those compared to the one I just cut with the file. And again, you could use emery board or sandpaper. It'll just take a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're not trying to take off a ton, just a little bit. So I've knocked those corners down on this one. Let's try it again. There we go. So now she goes in all the way, seats all the way to the lip. And you should be able to give it a small tug, a little bit of a tug. It shouldn't come out of there, but if you pull hard, it'll snap out. And again, you don't need the bolt. out of the rifle. You can do it with it all still assembled. This should be the last thing in the assembly process to prepare to fire. So, and if you hear a snap like this, so here, let me see if I can get it in. You get it part way, and then it should snap quite definitively. If you don't get a good solid snap with it, and again, you can try pulling on it just a little bit, pull a little bit, and if it doesn't pop out, then you're good. That means it's caught that little retention spring clip right there. I hope this video is helpful for you guys who want to buy my bolt handles to improve your Remington 597. They are much tighter than the originals, as you could probably tell from the video. The originals have a tendency to actually fly out while shooting, which makes them fly into outer space usually, because you can never find them ever again. But yeah, so that's my video on how to hand fit the bolt handle for your tighter Remington 597 bolts. Thanks for watching.